Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into something really fascinating called the Spatial Focus Room. Now, on its face, you might just think, oh great, another productivity app, right? But actually, this is a massive paradigm shift. We're finally moving away from apps that just sit there and ask you to try harder, and instead, we're looking at a system built specifically for the Apple Vision Pro that physically removes distraction from your environment. I mean, we are literally talking about making distraction impossible.
Section 1. The Phone Timer Paradox. Let's look at the absurdity of our current status quo.
You know, there's this quiet absurdity to how most of us try to concentrate every single day. We lean so heavily on willpower, using it as the load-bearing wall of our productivity. And frankly, that wall just keeps collapsing on us. Consider the fatal flaw of your standard mobile focus app. Sure, your phone can measure your focus, right? It can count up your sessions, chart your little streaks, log the time. But think about the other side of that equation. It completely fails to actually protect your attention. And why is that? Because you are trying to concentrate on the exact same glowing rectangle that holds every feed, every badge, and every single notification you have. You're basically trying to resist the device from inside the device itself. It's a contest you are absolutely destined to lose, because you're playing against teams of engineers whose full-time job is to pull your eyes away.
It really boils down to this brilliant metaphor from the source material. It says, asking a phone to guard your attention is asking the fox to mind the henhouse and feeling betrayed when the hens go missing. I absolutely love this. It completely hits the nail on the head. It hammers home exactly why using your phone to stay focused is a totally rigged game. Every single notification is a tiny negotiation, and just one context switch costs you minutes of deep work. A whole day full of them? Well, that costs you the work entirely.
Moving on to Section 2, Focus You Can Step Into. This is the spatial computing solution.
So we really need to stop asking, how do we build a better timer, and start asking how we change what actually surrounds us. This is where we shift from attempting to hold our focus to making focus the literal default state of your environment. Think about it. When you put on the headset and start a session, your messy desk, your 50 open browser tabs, your phone, they are just minimized. They are completely gone. Instead, you get these three incredible 360-degree skyboxes built specifically for deep work. First up, you've got Calm Beach, which gives you this incredibly warm, low-stimulation horizon. Then there's Rainforest, which just wraps you in green with the soothing sound of rain. And finally, Deep Space, this vast, distraction-free void with white noise. And look, these aren't just pretty pictures. These are 60-second ambient loops that mask the sounds of your physical room and act as Pavlovian audio-visual cues. So over time, your brain actually learns that when you step into the specific space, focus starts now. Distraction isn't resisted anymore, it's removed by design.
But of course, the designers knew that real life sometimes demands your physical presence, right? So they offer two distinct postures. Fully immersive replaces your room entirely when you need absolutely zero visual noise. But then there's pass-through. This is for when you still need to see your physical keyboard, maybe reference some paper notes, or, let's be honest, find your coffee mug without knocking it all over your desk. Pass-through keeps your real desk visible, but layers a calm, floating timer and that focusing ambient audio right over your physical space. So you get to decide exactly how much of the real world you actually need to keep.
Which brings us to Section 3, Building the Deep Work Habit, Retention Through Accountability.
Now, a beautiful environment is great, but a focus session that just vanishes the moment it ends, well, that teaches you absolutely nothing. So how does this app transform into a lasting daily habit that drives real user retention? Well, it does it through a very honest division of labor. Step 1 is the hook. That beautiful, immersive environment makes your very first session drastically better than staring at your phone. But Step 2 and 3, that is where the magic happens. You log accountable tasks, and you build streaks. The app is tracking your focus time totals and your session history. So the immersive experience gets you in the door on day 1, for sure, but wanting to keep that streak alive and actually seeing your measurable progress, that is exactly what drives you to come back on day 2 and day 7 and beyond.
Because as the source material so sharply puts it, deep work without a target is just expensive daydreaming. I mean, how true is that? Before your session even begins, you attach a single concrete intention to it. That specific task travels with you into the immersive space and just floats quietly in your view, so you aren't just vaguely working for 25 minutes. You are executing one named thing, and when you're done, you check it off. It brilliantly converts a calm environment into accountable, measurable deep work.
All right, Section 4, the Lean Business Engine, a masterclass in capital efficiency.
So let's talk business for a second. How does an independent developer build a profitable, high-fidelity app for a headset that currently has a pretty small install base? Well, normally the math just fails. $150,000 plus. That is the widely cited staggering cost to produce fully immersive visionOS apps right now. And why? Because historically, you've had to commission bespoke 3D art and highly produced audio assets. For an indie developer, that is a massive, often completely insurmountable barrier to entry.
But check out their incredibly capital-efficient secret weapon. Zero licensed stock footage, zero massive art budgets, everything. Every single immersive skybox, every 60-second audio loop is synthesized procedurally from source using an AI-directed architecture. Generating new worlds becomes a matter of computing power rather than commissioning a huge team of artists. It completely rewrites the rules of development. It's the ultimate one operator, amplified pattern.
And that lean build directly supports a proven freemium model. If you look at how they structure this, notice what they give away for free. The starter environment, the timer, the tasks. They are literally giving away the habit-forming tools on purpose. They want to maximize that active user base because they know that the people who form the habit are the ones who will eventually want the whole shebang. Once that habit is locked in, the subscription naturally converts them by unlocking the full environment library, every soundscape, and those advanced stats. It's just a perfectly aligned incentive structure.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 5, the power of subtraction, the ultimate modern luxury.
We live in a world that is just obsessed with adding more things. But consider this insight from the source material. When making things gets cheap, the scarce skill becomes judgment about what to remove. Think about it. Most productivity tools demand more from you. They add another timer, another nudge, another bell ringing at a person who is already completely depleted. But this app, it subtracts. It completely strips away the noise of the physical world so you simply don't have to fight for your focus anymore. It proves that removing the right thing always beats adding 10 more features. Focus stops being this exhausting fight you have to keep winning and instead becomes the only thing left in the room.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Take a look at your own daily productivity habits. If adding tools and making things is cheap, what can you subtract to do your best work? Seriously, think about what's surrounding you right now and what you might need to remove to finally step into your own deep focus. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this fascinating approach to work, and I'll catch you on the next one.